Hi everybody, this is Rhys Barber from Audiology Associates. Thanks very much for watching that earwax removal video today. We've got a long one for you today. Now there was a huge amount of wax that came out of these ear canals. So let's get rid of some of these little pieces here at the entrance. So we've got the standard size ulnar tube on here. This is a little bit of wax that's just hanging around the entrances. We'll get rid of that one first of all for you before we start working on this main plug. Now when we get a look, there we go, just inside, we can see we've got some wax collected right at the entrance to the canal, sitting at the bottom. Don't forget, gravity is going to pull most of this wax down to the bottom section here. So we're just lifting. We're working just behind the cilia at the moment. So because there's quite a lot of wax in this particular ear canal, you're literally just behind those little hairs on the entrance to the canal. But you can see this wax is tough. It's really, really solid. As we're lifting this up, it is lifting it, but it's really just not budging too far at all. So I'm just gonna keep lifting, trying to attach as much of this as I can so this wax plug becomes a little bit more mobile. That gives us a little bit more of a kind of a wiggle range on here then, so we'll be able to pull this out a little bit more effectively. You can see I've got behind this front section we've lifted, but it's just not really coming away. So we've got the Rosen inserter in here. We're just gonna drop over the top of this and start to tease this forwards. It's a tough old piece of wax. You can see what's happened here. Where the Rosen inserter is dropping in just there, we've got this really tough section at the front. Then we've got this thin base section that goes further back that's a little bit softer into a tougher section further back in. So we're going to use the Jobson horn here, but what's happening is where this piece of wax was really embedded down just inside the ear canal, as I've lifted it up with a suction, when you go in with a Jobson horn, then what's happened is we've pushed that back down into place, unfortunately. So we're going to try a scooping motion from the side this time and see if we can get a grip or just a bit of purchase on it. See if we can catch it just on the edge to be able to scoop this around. It's not really kind of budging too well. So let's go back in now with the suction. Let's lift this back up. Let's reposition this again. See if we can get a much better sort of position for this wax to be in. There we go. Now it looks just that little bit more mobile. Why is that? Well, we've scooped the top section away with the Jobson horn, which means that when we lift now, we've got a little bit more space to pull the wax into. And that's what's happening here. So we've got it into the entrance of the canal. Is this going to be a bit too big to get out? Can we wiggle this out, guys? You can see I am wiggling my little socks off here just to try and get this through and out of the ear canal wall, at the ear canal entrance, I'm sorry. It's just not budging. So let's go over the top with the Jobson horn. And you've got to be really careful here. Don't forget, we repositioned it, we lifted it up. The last thing we want to do is with the Jobson horn, push it back down where it was. But luckily, this has started to come away. Let's get behind that next section. Let's pull this forwards. Out that comes. Oh, it's still attached in there to the next section behind. Let's see if we can break that attachment. We need to get this out of the way. The reason being, we could carry on trying to pull more of this out, but that piece was so loose at the front that we'd really struggle to get a visual behind it there. So we've broken that front section away. Let's have a little bit of a tidy up now. And there we go. Now we can start to see that deeper section there. That you can see where the skin's gone really white, where it's got quite wet underneath. So we're just going to lift. There's a little bit of dead skin there lifting away from the canal wall as well. We've got this really deep-seated plug now that we've got to work on. Let's see if we can pull this across on one side. We've got a lot of dead skin and wax debris here at the base of the canal. You can see that whiter material underneath, that's dead skin. Let's start to lift this away. It looks quite soft, this one actually. It looks like it might... Oh, looks like the base of this wax looks quite soft. The top looks quite hardened, so I think there's probably a little bit of dry skin mixed with this top section, but the bottom section looks more like just plain old wax. Oh yeah, you can see that dry skin coming away now from the top of the canal wall. As we start to peel this away, this white material underneath, that's normally an indication that this is going to really hold on to that canal wall. So we're going to have to do some turbo wiggling here to get this one out, guys. What we've got is effectively a soft, squishy wax plug surrounded by these layers of hardened skin that have come away from the canal wall. So we've got to get this bit out. I know how much you love a good skin peel, you guys. So it's coming away. There we go. Let's give this a little bit of a wiggle. Let's try and coax. Look at that coming away. You can see it drawing the next piece of skin down the canal. So we're just going to grab hold of that piece and start to bring that down. It's a layer that goes, oh my goodness, you can see that white skin layer. It's gone all the way around the plug. There we go. It's a nice big chunky piece of skin coming away there. Let's take a look behind that. And we've got more wax coming down as well. We can see it's very sticky at the top, the sort of attic portion there. So we're going to have to sort of push this down a little bit to get this out. You can see that little bit of a movement. Only going side to side. We're sort of pushing down and pulling forwards at the same time, almost like a paddle motion on top of the wax there. So we're just trying to get this out. Out that comes. There we go. There's a big old plug there. That is a chunky piece of wax, that one. Oh, still got a bit of a tail attached that was disappearing in there. And there's still more in here. So we're still going. Now, is this going to be really well behaved? Is it going to come away as a nice big piece for us? We don't really want it being really sticky down at that section of the ear canal, because chances are it will be stuck to the eardrum. But it's coming away really, really well. Is there more left in there past the... Yes, there is. We're still going. You can just see the eardrum to the left-hand side of that plug of wax now. So he's getting a good grip. Now, that looked promising. That looked like it came away in a bigger chunk. The question is, did it leave anything behind? How close was it to the eardrum? Let's have a good old... Ah, it did. You can see this very thin layer that's sitting on top of the eardrum. Watch this one carefully, guys, as it's going to peel off the drum itself. There we go. There we go. Nice and steady and slowly here. I don't want to lose a grip on this because I don't want this to fall back in. There we are. You could see that sort of peeling off that eardrum there, really coming away nicely. There we go. Let's take a look behind that. Oh, got a little bit of the entrance. Get rid of that. There you go. There we go. That's gone. There we are. Eardrum looking a lot better there. So this is what it looked like to start with. You can see we had that big plug at the back, larger plug at the front, and this middle section. But we managed to clear all out of the way and see the eardrum. Now this looks dry, this wax. It's got this really kind of light color to it. It looks quite granular almost. So sometimes this will mean it's very, very dry with a bit of dry skin mixed into it. Let's get a grip on this bottom section. Okay, so it's not completely mobile. It's stuck somewhere because when you've got the grip, you can just see that bottom section now is loose. But what's happened is this top section up here is really firmly stuck. So we're trying to get that bottom section out. That top section is being held, it's holding everything in. So we're going to have to work our way around the outside edge here. Now, don't forget, this particular portion of the ear canal is really, really sensitive. So we've got to be careful here. Let's try and pull this down from the top. You can see a big chunk of wax there. Let's get rid of that first, and we'll go back in then, see if we can free up this top section. Oh, guys, don't forget, if you do enjoy these videos, give us a thumbs up. If you really enjoy them, consider subscribing to the channel. We've literally got hundreds. I think there's 600 and some odd now on there. But you can, take a look. There's loads of back catalogue for you to work your way through. But we can see it's just coming away to the outer part of the ear canal here. Is this going to be small enough to get out the canal in one piece? Are we going to have to wiggle this? Are we going to have to get the Jobson horn in here? That's the question. We're managing to spin it so far. It's working its way out nicely. Let's give it a little bit more of a wiggle. Out that comes. There you go. So you can really see that plug there and the different colors of the waxes in that plug. Oh, it's left a big chunk behind in there. Let's lift from the base here. We've got a lot of this in the anterior recess. So let's lift this out. Now that stayed together really nicely. Our biggest fear when it comes to this is it will break away down near the eardrum, and it's going to be difficult to get to, but that came away nicely. There's the eardrum looking lovely and healthy, nice and squeaky clean. So this is what it looked like to start with. This is what it looks like afterwards as well. We've got 5.5 centimeters, 2.25 inches or just over of wax there for you guys. Guys, don't forget, if you did enjoy the videos, subscribe to the channel. But as always, guys, take care of yourselves, take care of your ears, and take care of one another. And I'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone.